a bit of news. I had to kind of take a break from YouTube for a while. I was just burnt out, creatively burnt out. It's even Google it, creators burnout. And oh my God, it just the constant videos and constant editing can take its toll on you in a way where, like, myself and a lot of other YouTubers, we make videos for the passion of it. I love storytelling. I love making videos. I love getting that shot. And when I'm out hiking and walking, I'll stop if I see something and I just light up. And that's what I love about recording, and that's what I love about making videos. Then the editing process takes a long time, but I love the storytelling side of it. And I love bringing videos to you. I really, really do. And like, hopefully it inspires one or two people. I get some of the loveliest comments, and it's great to do. Like, I still can't believe there's people watching my channel. Like, I really can't. But for me, what happened was the creative process of making a video turned more into a need to versus a want to. So I was creating videos because I had it in my head, I have to get the next video, I have to get the next video. And yeah, it was interfering with me mentally. I was just exhausted. So I just took a small step back just to reassess. But I'm feeling great now, I really, really am. I kind of adjusted a few things, focused on my priorities before videos, and set myself a time. Like, I go up now, if I'm going to do an edit, and I'll set my timer for an hour and I'll do it. And even if I'm in a really good place, I will leave, because it'll leave me the want to do more. So anyway, I'm back a lot calmer, more relaxed, and yeah, I can't wait to get out. I'm getting out soon now for my first camp in a long time, so I can't wait to get up in the hills. So a few weeks ago, I asked, did anybody want to do a questions and answers? I was a bit nervous doing it because I didn't think anybody would want to be listening to me or ask me questions, but I got plenty, so let's go through them. So the first one is from George Hotkins. So he says, why is the whole walking and wild camping thing so bloody addictive? That's a rhetorical question, he says, but there's so many different answers. What do I think? Being honest, I think like the hiking, the wild camping, the gear, and especially the feeling you get when you're out on the trail, whether you're camping or hiking or anything, is like a drug. It's the endorphins that it's released, and that makes you happy. Like, everything makes sense when you hit the car park. And when you go out and have a great day on the mountains, or a great day hiking, or a great day camping, or a great day sitting in the woods like I am, you go home happy. And there's a thing called the hiker's low. And being totally honest, you can get really down after, it's like the highs and lows of, like, when you go back into work on a Monday or anything like that after having an absolute epic weekend. But I always say, I'm going out to fill up my cup. If I am not out on the trail for a good while, well, then my cup is low and I need to fill my cup up again. So that's my only way of thinking about it. But yeah, it's the feeling you get on the trail. It's just so bloody addictive. It really, really is. So that's for me anyway. What do you think? Put it in the comments and let me know. So Flan Flynn asked the question, and he goes, when you were a kid in Scouts, did you ever imagine that you'd have such a class designer beard? Oh, I have no idea what to say to that. I have no idea what to say. Cheers, Flan. I wouldn't call this a designer beard. It's just a... I don't know what to call it. I'm going to take a sip now because I'm embarrassed. Thanks for that. So, the next one is from David McAvoy. So, what are the core reasons for doing what you do in terms of hiking, camping, changed from when you started to now? It's a very good question. So, when I first started out hiking and camping, it was just a thing to do with friends, and it was a thing to do with the people I grew up with, and it was just a break away from the bar and a break away from spending an ocean of money on crap on the weekend. And it was just probably a bonding thing for the people I grew up with. I just started setting up a few hikes and heading out. From there, when I started seeing the benefits of hiking, camping and everything, I set up a group called Mountains for Mental Health. And that was so successful. We were just bringing people up mountains for free, all in aid of mental health awareness. But the crazy thing about that is there is so much organising. In 1 year, we brought over 800 people up mountains. 1 year. And I had some brilliant guides and people that I met through the hiking and through the camping that helped me out along the way. But primarily, the full organising of it was me taking in all the information from the checklists and everything like that. So what Mountains for Mental Health turned into for me was I was the only stressed one on the mountain that day. So it didn't make sense to me anymore, which is a pity because it was so brilliant. But who's to say I won't start it up again? But for now, I just need to take a small little bit of a break. But then in terms of the spiritual side of hiking and camping, it has really, really, I suppose, hit me in a way where when I go out on the trail, I never thought I'd find the spiritual side of everything. And not spiritual in the religious way, but just in terms of when I'm out here, it's just, there's an instant calmness and it calms the soul. And it fills the cup, as I was saying a minute ago. So that's the spiritual side I'm on about. Everything makes sense to me when I'm out on the trail, out in the mountains. And being totally honest, when you're out, it makes you think that, it really highlights how small your problems really are when you're sitting on top of like the Galties or whatever like that. So it went from like a social thing to an amazing mental health experience. And mental health is a good word. A lot of people get confused with mental health and mental illness. So mental health, it's the same as exercising your body. You need to exercise your brain, and when you're exercising your brain, I'm doing it out in nature. So great question, man, thank you. Not to assume that you have any. Sorry, this is another question from David. So not to assume that you have any, but if you did, can you address any fears or resistance you may have had going camping on your own in the wilderness? And was there anything that you did to help the unease? Well, solo hiking, I love solo hiking. And the reason why I love solo hiking, it forces you to spend time by yourself in your own head. And that's practice for catastrophizing or overthinking. So that's the one side of it. But when I did my first ever wild camp, I remember sitting down up by the lake, up by Loch Curragh in the Galties, and when I knew the sun was going down, I was getting so anxious and so nervous. I rang my wife saying I made a mistake, I shouldn't be up here, and she said, just look, relax, just keep busy, and which I did. I kept really busy, and I kept on doing things and going over and like checking my bag and everything. But then, weirdly enough, that was the first night and the first and only night I've ever heard a screaming fox. And there was nothing manly from the sounds coming from my tent when I heard that. But I woke up then to a sheep sniffing my tent. So, but now, what did I do to ease it? At the start, keep busy. But now I'll happily sit in the dark. Because you have to realise and you have to have it in your mind that, like, you could be out in the middle of town on a 2 o'clock in the morning drinking on a Saturday night, and you have way more chances of getting in trouble there than you do sitting on top of a mountain in your tent. Just know your boundaries, know the limits of your gear, and make sure you know the limits of your gear, because that will set your mind at ease. If you have, like, say the helium Force 1 that can withstand a lot of wind. So once I know that, once you have a sleeping bag that you know will go down to the temperatures that you want to, once you're not carrying so much up, once you know there's a water source. So there's so many things that you can get in place. There's no point in going to the top of the mountain with not enough water because your head's going to be wrecked. So you're going to go up there going, hopefully I'll find some water. It's not the mindset you should have. The mindset you should have is camp beside a lake or camp beside a spring that you know, or bring enough water if you can carry it up the mountain, because it's tough to carry a couple of litres of water, you know. So for me, and for anyone who wants to start camping, know the limits of your gear. That will set your mind at ease. So no matter what happens, if you're in your tent, you know you're safe and you know you're going to be warm, well then everything else is just in the mind. But if you're up there with a shy tent, you're setting yourself up for failure, unfortunately. But and if you want to start getting out camping and start getting out hiking and stuff like that, but camping, why not go to a few campsites? There's some lovely ones there. And King's Yard by the Galties, when you're camping there, it feels like you're wild camping, and there's toilet facilities and everything there. So yeah, so that's it. Thanks, it's a good question. So I'm not even going to try pronounce the name, so I'll put it up on the screen. So if you're camping or walking and it's raining, could you make separate recording? I really enjoy that. So yeah, absolutely. I love camping in the rain. I love hiking in the rain, but absolutely. And weirdly enough, people seem to like, you could get the nicest sunset and sunrise in the world, but if you're out in the pissing rain in a tent and everything, people seem to love that more. I think it's someone else. I think it's, if you're sitting at home on the couch, you're looking at someone else's misery. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy it. And I'll say, once you know the limits of your tent and your gear. So yeah, thanks for that. So Ross asked the question, would you be interested in doing some bucket lists, like for example the 100 Peak Challenge, the highest mountains in Ireland, the country high points, or any of the 42 waymarked trails? Yeah, absolutely. For me, I think the one goal that I have over the next few years is, there's so many different challenges in Ireland, like the Galtee Challenge, the Tom Crean Challenge, the Black Stairs, the Mourne Wall. You have so many. The Knockmeal Down Crossing. My aim is to record as many of them as possible. So next year I'm hoping to do the Black Stairs and the Mournes, the 7-7s or something like that. I know the Fay Sheehy is coming up, but yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I always do the Tom Crean every year, and I'm looking to do the Black Stairs and the Mournes this year. But then the year after I'm going to do something else, and then the year after that I'll try to do something else. So he has two questions. Would you host a subscriber meetup while camp and a fireside chat? Actually, I get really excited about things, and I think that's one of my problems as well, where, like, I've said it I don't know how many times on this channel, that I'm going to do a meetup, but I get really excited about the things and I say it out loud, and then they don't happen because other things come in. But that has been in the back of my mind for a long time now, and 100% it will happen. I've already been in contact with King's Yard, and for people who want to just start out camping, that's a good starting point, and maybe we can get up and do a hike to the top of the Galties next morning. But leave that with me. I know I keep saying it, but I 100% will do that. So thank you for that. So Big B, the best all-round hike you have ever done in Ireland. See, there's so many hikes I haven't done yet. I love the look of Sheffrey Hill, and I've never done it. But for me, at the moment, my number one favourite is the Faha side of Mount Brandon. I love that route, and I have a video on that, but that's always stuck with me. I don't know, it's such different terrain, but I think it was the first proper mountain I've ever done, and it's always stuck with me. So I'll link that video there if you want to have a look at it, but that's my favourite hike in Ireland. But that might be replaced depending on all the other hikes that I'll do over the next couple of years. So yeah. So my good friend Jason from Rambling On, he goes, what are your favourite pieces of camping kit, and what season is your favourite to go camping? So my favourite bit of camping kit is probably my sleeping bag, because I went through so many sleeping bags. Because I have restless feet. I can't use mummy bags. I've tried a good few things, and what really stayed with me is the Sea to Summit ascent. It is just so built for the exact way I sleep. So my favourite bit of kit that I won't be, the only way I get rid of that is if I'm upgrading it to the newest one or something, because I love it. I absolutely love it, so I'll always be sticking with that, to a point where I think I've never reviewed a sleeping bag, so I might do that. It'll be well worth it. So the second one, I think winter is my favourite time to camp. I know there's a lot of darkness and everything like that, but I just love the challenge of the coldness. I really do love the challenge of the cold. So yeah, I think that. So thanks, Jason. So Tony Hickey. So hi Martin, do you find it difficult getting out with a small family regards to making the time, and what is the best way to find that balance without getting the eyes like? Get the eyes off the wife. No, my wife is fairly great. She's very, very laid back and relaxed, and it's all about communication. I think I communicate enough that I need to go hiking, wild camping, and getting out in nature for my mental health, and I've no problem saying that. And she understands that as well. So it's all about a fine balance, but have your plans in place. I don't think anybody in any relationship needs permission to do anything, but as long as you have very good communication, well then you're fine, you know. So Alan Hamilton asked me, so how is your mental health? Great question, thank you. It's been a while for sure, he says, but would you be interested in doing some bushcraft? It's well overdue. Strangely enough, I bought a good few little things got to do with bushcrafting, and I haven't got around to them yet, 100%, but I will. I just need to fit it in, but I need to go practicing. I want to practice my knots. I want to practice a few, I have a few little things in mind that I will be getting to, because I really enjoyed that side of things, like the engineering side of things. My mental health, yeah, it's good at the moment, as I spoke earlier on about the creator's burnout. Yeah, that absolutely took its toll on me, but I had the good awareness to see that, then take a step back, reassess, and then start again. So it's all about knowing your limitations. So yeah, so my mental health is very good. I don't think there's anybody at all that hasn't and still suffers from any bit of mental illness, but make sure you go out and do the things that light you up, to keep you on an even keel, and get some exercise, drink plenty of water. It's really bloody important. It really, really is. So yeah, it's a good question, and Alan, and thank you for that. And yeah, I appreciate that. Paddy McMahon. So do you ever leave your camera at home and just piss off for a day or overnight camp? Before, yes. Over the last couple of months, probably the last year, absolutely not, because as I mentioned about the creator's burnout, everything became about the channel, and everything became about making the video, making this and making, so hiking, camping and everything became about recording, and it wasn't about me getting out into nature. So that will change. I need to reassess a few things, but I will be getting out a lot more with hikes and camps and group hikes with subscribers, and maybe not recorded at all, just to get out and just to talk. But I will be doing some camps on my own without the camera, 100%. So it's a good question. It's strange that it came up now, because over the last year I've been really down the rabbit hole of making videos. Don't get me wrong, I love making videos, but you need to have that balance. You can't be just doing the one thing all the time, and that's what I was doing, unfortunately. William Osborne asked the question, dream place to wild camp, Switzerland or Sweden? I'd love to go there. Iceland I'd go back in a heartbeat, but absolutely Sweden or Switzerland. And yeah, there's a few plans in place for winter. You'll see if they come to fruition, we'll say. So Brian Thornton, please can you do a review on the Durston? Brian, done, man. I saw your comment actually. Yeah, so I just did a review on the Durston Kakwa 40. So I'll be getting that out in the trail soon, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. So I'll link the review there. So nice bag. And then finally, then you have Patrick. So your top 5 hikes in Ireland and why? So the Faha route in Mount Brandon, incredible terrain, a great variety of terrain, and the scenery is just bloody incredible. The Tom Crean Challenge along that full Dingle Peninsula is breathtaking. It's just breathtaking. You have such, it's so tough and beautiful at the same time. So I'd recommend everyone to do that challenge. On top of that, Carrauntoohil up O'Shea's Gully down the Heavenly Gate. That's a challenging hike, but Carrauntoohil, it speaks for itself. It's absolutely incredible. On top of that, I love the Cush Loop of the Galties. In saying that, the hike that I did recently doing the 5 lakes of the Galties, now that was spectacular. I'm going to go back and do that again there soon, but yeah, the Cush Loop, so over Galtybeg, Galtymore, down over Cush, I really like that route, and Knockmeal down around that area. But in saying that, these will all change because I'm definitely getting up the country. I haven't been to Wicklow yet, which is, I think, absolutely disgraceful. I even hate saying that, but yeah, I haven't been up there yet, so yeah, so I think that's 5, isn't it? But Sheffrey Hill is on my mind. It really, really is. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some new ones this year. All right, I'd like to thank, I think I've talked for long enough, but thanks so much for the questions. I really appreciate it, and yeah, we'll talk to you in the next one. Okay, bye.